Today we are going to learn how we can modify an Amazon EC2 instance. My EC2 instance is ready now. As we can see, it's in running state. uh, we have a multiple states. One is a running state, other one is a stop state, a reboot state, and terminate state. So we have a four states are available that we can use in regularly. So my EC2 instance is currently running. So let's discuss how we can modify, what are the each and every details about the EC2 instance that they mention here. So this is the EC2 instance name. So if I want to change my EC2 instance, I just click on this pencil button. So I can name it as a different name and click on this one, so that my EC2 instance name got changed, which to some other. Previously it was in Swiggy, now it's in Zomato. The next one, so instance ID. I means instance ID. I refers instance ID. Okay, each and every instance, it has unique ID, which is called instance ID. So as we discussed, instance state, currently it's in running state. So I'll just click on my EC2 instance and I'll just go here, and if I want, I can stop it, I can terminate it, I can reboot it, nothing but restart. That is called instant state. And next is a instance type. So when I launched my EC2 instance, I have choose a T2 micro, which is a free tier eligible. So if I want to change my instance state, so we cannot do straight away like this. There is no option to change instance type while my instance is running. So for this, we have to stop the instance first. I'm just selected my EC2 instance. I'm just going here. I'm just stopping the instance right away. So it will take 30 to 40 seconds to change the status in every time. So that is the time, we can say 30 to 40 seconds. Now it's a stopping. It's in a progress to stop. So it takes around 30 to 40 seconds to change its status. So once status has been changed, we can change the instance type. Now we see the instance state as stop state. So select the EC2 instance, go to the actions, go to the instance settings, click on it and change the instance type. I can go ahead and change it to whatever I want mentioned here, right? So there are multiple series that are available: T series, C series, M series. All right, so I can change it to whatever instance type I want it, right? So let's go back to, just again I'm going to start the instance. Okay, in this way we can change the instance type based on your requirement. Again, it will take 30 to 40 seconds to come back to its original state. Okay, let it be, it will coming to the running state in a few minutes. Next is a status check. So next is a alarm status. Okay, alarm status is nothing but, so suppose if anything happened to our instance, then we will create an alarm, like SNS or SMS. That is, those are the two services are available, so that team will get notified if something happened to the instance. That is the alarm status. Currently we have not configured anything. We are here to discuss about the definition of the points which they mentioned here. So next is availability zones. So while launching an instance, I have not chosen any particular availability zone. So based, it generated automatically for me. So if you want, you can give it. There is an option called subnet in network edit option, where I have choose to no preference, so that AWS create itself for us. So if you want, we can give the input. So I've given empty, so that it created for me. So my EC2 instance is available in this particular zone right now. So next is a public DNS, IP4 DNS. As we know, DNS is nothing but domain naming services. So like for example, facebook.com, google.com. So we are giving the names instead of the IPs. Okay, to remember, it's a user for the user friendly purpose. So nobody will remember the IPs. So that we'll give the names, which is called as a domain naming service. Next is elastic IP. So elastic IP is nothing but suppose as we are stopping and starting our EC2 instances regularly, so if we change any configurations, so that each and every time that IP will get changed, so that it will be very difficult for the users to access the application, and then the server will get down whenever this activity will happen. So that AWS will provide the option called elastic IP. So with the help of the elastic IP, one static IP will get created. So even if you start and stop the instances, the IP will not get changed, so that we can access the application uh, uh, in the same way. Monitoring. So we can monitor the our AWS environment. So here AWS will provide the CloudWatch tool called CloudWatch. So I'm going to create one more video on CloudWatch, but as of now I just disable it. So when we use the CloudWatch as a monitoring tool, we can monitor the health of the servers and applications. Security group name. So I've created a security group name, so which you can see here. Key name. So I've not chosen any key pair, so that there is no key here. So this is the launch time when we launched the EC2 instance. These are the details and modifications we can do with the EC2 instances. And security. So while launching an instances, I've created a security groups. So if you want to change the security group rules, just come here and click on edit inbounding rules. So as of now, SSH comes with a by default. Okay, so SSH and port number comes with the default. So suppose if I want to install Jenkins in EC2 server, so the Jenkins which is a CA server runs on top of the 8080. So that I have given my custom type is a custom TCP, and port range is a 8080. So I choose anywhere and save rules, so that my inbound request. So inbound means I'm requesting my server to give the request what I requested. Means like suppose I want my facebook.com login page. So I'm entering facebook.com in a web browser, so that server will accept that particular request, and it gives back to me as a Facebook login page. And I want to see a Zomato login page. So I enter into zomato.com. The server will accept my request. So it will gives the back my request what I requested. So we are giving the request to the server, which is a inbound. So we are getting the response from the server, that is the outbound. So server take the inbound request, we'll give the outbound request. Whatever the request coming from the server, we'll call it as outbound. Okay, so we don't touch any outbound rules here. If you want, we can change the edit inbound. So for the learning purpose, so always it's better to choose all traffic, but it's not an ideal scenario. It's better to choose the all traffic, so that you don't need to change any custom TCP every time. So while you are launching an EC2 instance, it's better to use all traffic, so that you don't need to enter any port separately. And click on save rules. So my security groups is done. And next, volumes. So as of now, when I launched my EC2 instance, by default it came up with the 8 GB of the 8 GB of 8 gig of storage, and it is attached to my in use. You can see the status is volume status. It is attached to my particular resource. One instance I have it attached to that particular instance. Volume status okay, encryption it's not encrypted, and these are the details you can see. So if you want, you can modify. So suppose client came up and, hey man, so I don't need this 8 GB, I want 10 more GB. So what I do, so I select my this particular volume, so I can give the volume, it's a master volume. Okay, I can give the change if I want. So I can modify the volume to click actions, modify the volume, so I can go with 10 here. So the size of volume can only be increased, not decreased. So previously we have a 8 number, so we cannot decrease it, it won't accept. We have to increase it, then only it will accept. So I have modified my volume based on my requirement. Okay, so I have modified my volume based on my requirement. Again client came up and saying, man, I don't need 10 GB, so I want 15 more GB. So let's see. I select it, go to the actions. This time you don't see modify volume, because this option will get grayed out. So there should be some other way to modify this particular volume. Again we have to wait 6 hours, then only we will see this modify volume in enable mode. So we cannot wait 6 hours in the real time. So there will be a application impact issue. So that AWS came up with another idea, we have to create a one more volume. So I'm just creating one more volume with 10 GB. Okay, I'm creating one more volume with a 10 GB, and I'm just selecting is a availability zone. Thumb rule is, so if you are creating a one more volume, so it should be in the same same availability zone, okay, of previous volume. So we cannot create another volume in another availability zone. That whatever the volumes you are created, those volumes should be in same availability zone. This is a thumb rule, mandatory. Just create a volume. My volume got created. Okay, previously 10 GB, now I created one more volume. This is a previous volume, and this is, can give second volume. Okay, my volume got created. Now we can see it's available. The first volume is in use, so this option is available. If I want, I can use it. So now my volume got created, but it's not attached to my instance. The first volume is attached to my instance, but the volume which I created a second time, it's not attached yet. So I click on that particular volume, I'll go to the actions and attach volume, and select on my, let's go to volumes. For some reason it's not showing that volume. Okay, cancel it. I'm just going to delete volume. It's going to delete volume. I'm going to create a one more volume with the 10 GB. And what is that? ES is to only availability zone. Mhm. Volume is created. Oh, the my first volume is in ES East 1B. Alright, I have to create a volume in 1B only. Right? No. First one created in 1B, second one should be also in 1B. Right? Let's create one more. 10 1B. Because as we discussed, availability zone should availability zone should be same for previous and now created instance. Now my both availability zones are, so I can attach this volume to my existing, yeah, and device name I can give it mount point, which is, so now my available volume which I have created is attached to my previous instance. See, in use and in use, whatever the green color is already in use, it's a in use. So in this way we can attach and we can detach. Suppose if I want, I can detach it. Click on it, right, delete it, right, or delete it. You can detach this volume by clicking on detach, and return volume from instance. Okay, no issues. And we can click on it and detach volume. Yeah, my volume got detached. So even it is, if even it is detached, if we want we can use it. All right, so again we can modify and we can, create the snapshot, so etc etc. In this way we can use the volumes, by modifying a EC2 instance. And coming to the tags, so tags is nothing but if you have a multiple project and multiple EC2 instances, so we'll give in the names and tags, so we can manage the tags. So we can add the tag. So one is project tag, project is Flipkart, and add another tag, environment tag, environment, which is a dev. So in this way we can manage the tags. So in this way we can modify the existing EC2 instances. It's based on the client requirement. So these are the full details that I've mentioned here, so where you can modify EC2 instances in different way, in terms of the security group, in terms of the volume, in terms of the key pair, in terms of the availability zone, in terms of the instance type. So whatever you want you can modify, but if you want to change the instance type, then you have to stop the instance, then you can change it again, you can start it back. That's all. Thank you.